the Nighttime Show, live from Hollywood. As always, with us, our head writer and producer, Mr. Matt Walker, is here. How are you, buddy?
Hello. Good to be here.
I am, of course, your host of the Nighttime Show, Stephen Kramer Glickman. And wow, our guest today is a model and a performer. You've seen her. She was on Deal or No Deal. But we follow her on the Instagram, and we're all big fans of her. Ladies and gentlemen, Madi Teeuws.
Teeuws.
I kind of messed it up. Madi Teeuws.
No one gets it right. You're good.
Okay, so your last name originally.
Yes.
How did you originally say your last name?
Okay, it's a bit of a story. My close friends all know it. It's supposed to be pronounced as Dutch. It's Teeuws, but yes. But my grandfather played for the Rams actually when they were first in LA. So I have a reason to be a Rams fan now, which is pretty cool. But yeah, they pronounced it wrong. And one time the announcer said Tevis rhymes with crevice. And ever since then, it just kind of stuck and we all pronounce it wrong. And we just say Tevis, even though it's...
So one announcer screwed it up and all of a sudden your whole family was like, oh, I guess it's just we're called now.
Yeah, I
That's
guess
our
so.
name, I guess.
Half of my family actually changed the spelling to Tevis. That's why my Instagram name is Madi Teeuws, to kind of help people know how to say my name. But I think it just adds to the confusion.
Yeah.
Yeah. The correct spelling of it, though, is Teeuws.
Yes.
WS. Yeah.
Like five vowels in a row. It makes no sense.
Wow. Yeah, totally. So, like, what we were talking about just before the show started is, with models, there's like Instagram models, and then there's like models that you see like on, in paper, like, in magazines, in stuff, like doing photo shoots for like
runway
real,
and all that.
Runway, doing photo shoots for like
print,
big companies,
commercial.
print, all that kind of stuff. And your Instagram is chock full of both of those things. It looks like you're not only flying around the world and doing lots of fun, cool stuff and hanging out with lots of other wonderful, fun people, but you've been modeling, doing lots of work for lots of different incredible people, including Calvin Klein, I believe. And I
was just wearing the bra.
You're just wearing the Calvin Klein bra, but
manifesting.
That's a good manifest, though. It makes a lot of sense. So what is the reality of this situation? Like, are you currently modeling, or are you taking a break? Like, what's happening?
I am up until a couple weeks ago, but it's kind of funny, perception versus reality. And I think, I don't know, later on we'll probably get into kind of the struggles of being in the industry. But I've actually, since a couple weeks ago, been taking a little bit of a break to figure out. I actually went to school for 4 years at University of Texas, Hook 'em Horns.
Yeah.
They got trouble coming up against LSU.
What did you go?
Talking about that.
What did you go to school for?
I went to school for advertising. So initially I moved out to LA and I was finishing up my last class at school. I graduated in 3 years and LA makes sense. I have friends out there. My dad lived out here at the time. So I came out here and then just kind of fell into modeling and was never planning on getting into that. I actually interviewed.
So you didn't do modeling when you were like a teenager or anything at all?
No, in college here and there, just earned some extra money if, a little boutique in Austin needed a model or something like that. But never, I played basketball. I was in what was called the Carroll Medical Academy, which is kind of like a nerd club pretty much, where you take AP classes as a freshman in high school.
Okay.
And modeling was never on my radar. Dance was probably the closest thing that I did when I was really young. But yeah, so when I moved out here, I think I had a manager that just believed in me, and then I went to my first agency was Wilhelmina, which is one of the largest. And they have a
huge
reputation. Even people who don't know modeling know, Wilhelmina. And they loved me, and it just kind of happened, and here I am. But yeah, it's funny. I kind of am at this stage where taking a little break, I'm sure I'll still be modeling, as I've only been doing it for actually 1.5 years, 2 years, and I feel like I have a lot more to give. But I'm also revisiting my other passions and figuring out, what I want to do along with that, because I feel like the women now who make it in the modeling world and the type of model I want to be is more of a face and kind of someone to look up to and be more of a brand. So the girls that are doing great now, in my eyes at least, you may not be booking the most jobs, but you also have, a bikini line, or you're also an actress, you're multifaceted.
Sure.
And like think Jessica Alba, Honest Company, they all at some point transition into something else. So that's kind of where I'm at.
You're 100% right.
Yeah, because like you look at all the big names and it's like Giselle isn't just a model. Like,
yeah, or
she's got her
LeBron's
whole
not
things,
just
or, like,
LeBron's LeBron because he's so much more than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's like all these people, they do all kinds of things that they put their brand on, and it's like a whole personal brand that they
Totally.
What's so fun too about this city in particular, as opposed to like New York or some other places?
I actually love New York. I'm originally from DC, and
Sure.
that was my full name's Madison, and my childhood dream was I wanted to have Madison's on Madison Avenue. Like
Oh
a
my
little
God.
boutique store, maybe
Yeah.
live above it, which I still will probably live there at some point for at least a year. Just it's on my bucket list. But LA, I just think, gosh, there's so much because I've considered, for modeling, you see the traveling, you can live in London, you can live in Milan.
Just so you know, I live 1 block away from Madison Avenue in Montebello, California. So
Oh, wow.
You have that
I
opportunity
have an
out here.
option.
Hey, there we
So you got
go.
a chance.
There we go.
But yeah, LA, there's just, gosh, endless
So much
opportunity.
opportunity.
Yeah, and one of my huge passions is healthy food, whether that's, it's funny, I had a friend telling me a story about a girl that he was helping get into the food space, and she went to this huge interview to be on Food Network. She had this opportunity, and they asked her, what's your favorite aspect of food? And she goes, eating, which is something that, everyone loves and can relate to. But yeah, eating. I love going to new healthy restaurants or non-healthy and taking pictures of the food. My friends get mad at me because they're like, can we eat now? And they know at this point not to touch the food until we take a picture. But yeah, so I forgot what I was getting at. Oh, LA. Yeah. I just feel like, especially within modeling, I think the most major thing I've gotten out of it, other than being able to travel, is connecting with people. Every job that you have, it's a different set of people. I mean, I figured out pretty quickly when I was interviewing for the ad agency jobs that working a 9 to 5 wasn't me, and being in a confined space and working with the same team. So gosh, the networking and the amazing people I've met, I feel like whatever space I wanted to get into, I have that option, which New York is similar, but I think pertaining to what I'm interested in, LA even more so. And of course, the obvious, the beach, the sun. I love the sun.
Yeah. Do you have an interest in acting? Like, is that part of what
I get
you
asked all the time about acting, but I'm kind of an all or nothing. I was in musicals when I was really young. I was in Annie.
Okay.
I don't know if you know Molly, the little one.
Of course I do. Sure.
Has the drunken. That was so fun for me.
I'll tell you, at a time, Stephen Glickman's CD player was broken, and the Annie soundtrack was stuck in his CD player in his
kidding.
car for like 4 months.
We could change this into a whole sing-along.
This could be
it's
a
been done.
musical quickly. Yeah, no.
Yeah, because he was on Broadway in Shrek.
Oh, wow.
Shrek the musical.
Oh my
Back
gosh.
in the day.
Yeah.
I love Broadway. Oh my gosh. I don't think it's Broadway, but I really want to see the Beatles Love Show. Have you guys
That's
seen it?
like
Yeah.
the
Cirque du Soleil.
Cirque du Soleil in Vegas.
Yeah. Very cool.
But yeah, I have an interest in it, but I'm kind of the type of person, I'm very all or nothing.
Right.
So if I were to have a serious interest in acting, I would go full in and do, acting classes.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what else goes into it really, but
Yeah, well, like I have a friend, because I took acting classes at Brian Reese Acting Studios for a while. I have a friend from that class who was a Victoria's Secret print model, and she was in there, and she got hired. I remember at the time she got a job on that show, the last one that Robin Williams did, that sitcom he did.
Oh, yeah.
The Good something. The Good Ones. I forget the name of it, but they did an episode because the show was Robin Williams ran an ad agency. And they were doing something for Victoria's Secret. So they're like, we need models who can talk on camera. Because so many of the people she was saying, like she went in and she was cast originally as just like one of 3 girls. And then by the end of the shoot, she did all of the lines because the other 2 girls they cast couldn't talk on camera.
Look, and that's not to say.
Which is crazy.
That's interesting because
Yeah.
I'm sure there's someone who reached out to me recently said, I'm sure there's roles that you would fit.
Oh,
so
tons.
I think in my head, of course, big time actors, actresses that you have to memorize all these lines, but I'm sure there's definitely different ways I could fit into it.
Tons of people and tons of models who've been in huge movies and have broken out and done a lot of other
Yeah, we'll
stuff,
see maybe
so.
after this.
Yeah, absolutely. Like when it comes to modeling and business, it's that's a high pressure gig in a lot of weird ways. Like
I think a lot of ways,
physically,
you wouldn't expect.
It's very intense, and then you have
Like,
to
how
be able
did
to
you-
deliver on set and all that kind of stuff. Like,
Like, how did you learn how to pose for a photo? Because that's a thing that like some people seem to do naturally, and like other people like me are very awkward on camera, and I'm just never comfortable posing for a photo. Like, is that thing? Like, did you go to
it's
class
a learned?
to learn? Or?
No, I think it's a learned trait, but also it's like anything. The athletes that I feel like end up reaching that other level have it a bit naturally.
Yeah.
So, but you also obviously develop those skills over time. So I think I always say to my friends, I feel like you can tell so much about a kid or a person as a kid. So there's pictures. I didn't even remember saying this, but now that I do what I do, my mom says, oh yeah, I found your old journal from when you were 5. And you were saying that you wanted to be a movie star and live in LA. And I don't even remember that. And there's pictures of me like standing by my little plastic kitchen, posing with the sassiest look on my face, wearing these sunglasses. So I think I've always kind of had a little bit of a knack for it, but it's definitely also with anything practice. One of the main things is, and a little not as glamorous side to LA modeling is there's a lot of wholesalers downtown LA, in the fashion district. So when you model there, it's not, a glamorous beach shoot where you're putting on maybe 5 bikinis and it's all styled and you take your time and it's, they bring you snacks. It's, you're there for 8 hours.
That's a volume
no
business.
Breaks.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. You're putting on 300 outfits. If you take more than 10 seconds to change it, so are you changing? I'm like, no, wow. I took a sip of water. Sorry, one sec. So yeah, with that, I think that's how I've really nailed down the poses. And I have a lot of friends too that will go over to Asia or different markets that are, specialized in that kind of modeling.
Yeah.
That it's like you said, quantity over quality. So I think that's helped.
What are some of the pressures that you've dealt with in that business?
In that part of it specifically, or just modeling in general?
Just modeling in general.
Yeah, I think the major thing that a lot of us deal with is comparison. In a place like LA, I lived in Austin and did a little modeling there while I was in college, but here you're a small fish in a big pond. And I think also with social media, I heard a statistic, I don't know the exact figures with it, but that anxiety and depression in youth and, everyone in general has increased tenfold from social media. So I think, because of my job, I've tried to have hiatuses where I get off of Instagram for a week or something, but I can't because that's, what I do.
Yeah. Dude, I get it.
And
do you get
it's
a lot
comparison.
of work?
So you look at you could be in Greece working or on vacation. You look, oh, well, she's in Bali and my body would be great and I work really hard, but it's never enough. And when you it's a lot of you're told no, you don't see the behind the scenes of driving 2 hours to a casting.
Yeah.
You're there in Orange County for 15 minutes. You turn around, you drive back, and you get there and the clothes don't even fit you or something that they could have told you beforehand.
Oh, man.
So it's really tough on your mental health. And I already am more prone to being a little bit anxious. So it's definitely like, staying true to yourself and not letting the industry change you with all the plastic surgery and being told, you should get different things done.
Have people told you to do different things?
Now I'm going to get
People
in trouble.
said
No.
Hold on.
We don't have to name names.
Here's the
but
thing.
Are you
You
really?
should not get anything done. Don't change anything.
Thank you.
Whatever you're doing is working perfectly. Don't change anything.
Yeah, it's shock. So when I got into the business, I knew, from watching America's Next Top Model and whatever I'd seen that it was, cut your hair, do this, and that it was, a tough industry to be in mentally. But the things that I've witnessed, not only stories from fellow models and what I've been told myself, it's you work so hard to be fit and then you're too skinny. And then 2 months later, you're soft, you need to tone up or you need to get Botox and these different, it's one thing if they're offering to pay for it, that's besides the point because it's the principle.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of these things all come out of your pocket.
Well, and sometimes
I'm sorry, wait, hang on, Matt. Do you do like the class pass stuff and the
Beauty pass or class pass?
Beauty pass? What's beauty pass?
Oh, you don't know about this? Oh my gosh.
Shit.
Okay.
I'm in so much trouble.
So, Maddie, look at the room. What do the two of us know about beauty pass?
It's so funny because this is the world I live in.
Yeah.
So when I talk to people that I have no idea what goes on, it's really entertaining.
My girlfriend has class pass.
Okay,
she
so
goes
class
to
pass is the fitness classes where you can jump
Body
around
by
studios.
Simone and all these different ones. Yeah.
I did that a while back, but then when I find something that I really like, I get obsessed with it. I think they max out how many times you can go to the same studio.
Yes.
So my go-to latest workout, because I used to be obsessed with hot yoga. I would go every single day. I had an amazing studio when I used to live in Hermosa Beach. But I'm big on the studio and connecting with the music and the instructor and having different flow sequences every time. And I just haven't found one where I live now that I love. So my latest thing is Pilates, which mentally it doesn't do quite as much for me, but it is absolutely brutal. They use this machine called the Reformer. I go to the studio MDR. And it's, oh my gosh, every single time I'm looking at whoever's next to me, we're just rolling our eyes because some of these moves are so ridiculous. You're essentially in a plank suspended over a space for 20 minutes cumulative. It's crazy.
Oh my God.
So I've definitely seen the biggest change in my body from that. So I do that every other day. And then in between, I'll go for a jog or something.
So
Beauty Pass.
Wait, first of all, real quick, before we get to Beauty Pass, I did hot yoga twice. I thought I was going to die.
Really? You have to adjust to the heat, but now I can't do it without heat because I, almost depend on that to create heat, which is probably not a good thing. But
wow,
it's amazing.
Probably
mentally.
Relaxes your muscles too.
Yeah, probably. It's like a sauna combined with workout.
We should get Matt to go to hot yoga.
Yes. There's one called sculpt class too, where you use weights, and then you also do the planks and the.
How often do you see men in the classes that you go to?
The Pilates not as much. I'd say 1 or 2. I'd say hot yoga actually a little more. I think it's becoming more and more popular. But it's funny because guys tend to think, it's yoga, I can do it, whatever. And then you see them struggling, or like in Pilates, we do these inner thigh exercises and they're all shaking. It's so funny.
I would be collapsed on the floor, curled up in a ball crying, I think.
Downward dog usually ends with me asleep on the floor. I think.
I did a class the other day and they actually had dogs there. It was in Malibu. It was super fun.
Yeah.
Oh, have you been to goat yoga? Have you
no,
done that?
I've heard about that. I don't really understand that.
My mom
is it just to have
goats.
a goat there for
and
fun?
Goats climb on you while you're doing
this
stuff.
Does it add to your experience?
I don't know.
Other than entertainment,
it probably adds to the Instagram ability of it. That's what it does.
Probably.
Yeah.
Maybe you're
do it for the gram.
Have more fun, and then it relaxes you more.
Okay, so what's the beauty?
Yeah, Beauty Pass.
Okay, Beauty Pass. There's mixed feelings about it because of what it stands for. It's this app essentially that if you're assigned professional agency model, which kind of goes back to what you're saying about Instagram models, which there's such a fine line because there's girls who post for certain brands that are like very Instagrammy and they don't have a legitimate agency. But if you're a signed professional model, that's how you get access to jobs that you wouldn't, because I do get a lot of people reach out to me and I get a ton of jobs on my own through Instagram.
I mean, you have 377,000 followers on Instagram, which is an extraordinary amount.
Thank you.
And what's so great about it too is that because it's under 1 million, just because I have 165,000, I get hit up because I'm over 100,000. There are agencies that will hit up people between 100,000 and 500,000 and go, "Hey, we have an offer. Here's how much we're willing to pay." And it's like specifically because of the number, because they don't, instead of hiring someone who has 1 million or 2 million for way more money, they'll throw out some really good numbers. Yeah, kind of the
micro-influencer thing. I've been learning a lot about that recently because, and something I'm actually trying to work on, because if you're not a little bit, it's always in my head been good to be really well-rounded. You're applying to colleges, you want to have sports and also be academic, but now with that, it's almost better to be hyper-focused. If you're a beauty blogger or you're focused on fitness or health. So I'm trying to transition a little more into the health and food space because that's something that's a passion of mine, because then a brand will know that their dollars are going to be worth it because it's going to followers that are interested in their products.
Oh yeah.
So that's why, someone with 1 million followers, their engagement may not be as high and it might not be as effective use of their money because it's, they don't know who's targeting. So back to Beauty Pass.
Yes, Beauty Pass.
Beauty Pass. Please continue.
Okay, so it's an app where if you're an agency model, you can apply. I can't remember if they kind of scouted me per se or you apply to it, but you get accepted. And it's funny because I have friends that are musicians or not signed models, and it's pretty selective about who they bring on. But so you can go on it, and I can show you after. It's pretty entertaining. Businesses in LA, so a yoga studio or a smoothie restaurant, or what else do they have on there? Like nail salons will be approached by Beauty Pass, and then they create an account on there, and you can essentially scroll through. So if I'm driving home after this, I can say, oh, what's in this area? I'm hungry. Find maybe a burger joint, click reserve, go there. The currency is taking a picture of your food, and all you do is tag on your story Beauty Pass, and you get free food. And it's, yeah.
You are Steven's jealous.
And it's in cities all across there. You can go to anywhere models would work. So London, New York,
Maddie, I'm so
Amsterdam.
impressed. Yeah. I've never been more.
It's actually pretty amazing.
That's amazing.
But now I'm spoiled because anytime nothing's in the area or I have to pay for my food,
And Steven's like, what plus size model agencies are there for middle-aged men?
Does Wilhelmina have a plus size
They do
actually.
actually.
For men.
My friends actually call me their sugar mama now because I'll get, 2 free cocktails and 2 appetizers from Boa. So on Friday night, I'm like, hey, you want to go to Boa? And all we got to do is tip.
Nice.
That is amazing.
That's cool.
Good for Boa for making that happen because they
great.
needed some help, man. I'm a big fan of Boa.
It's good. I went there for lunch the other day and they have these bowls where you pick out all the protein and all your different sizes.
Oh my God.
So good.
That is mind-blowing to me.
Isn't it? But there's mixed. So I thought it was, everyone thought it was a great thing, but then I went and read articles about it the other day, and apparently they think that, being beautiful, it shouldn't be a reason for getting free food, and there's
that's not what it is. It's about it's an influencer thing. Yeah. Hey, Matt, before we continue chatting with this wonderful guest, we really do have a extraordinary, very fun segment that we got to do right now.
What's the segment?
Well, I'll tell you, buddy boy. The segment is called Inexpensive Holiday Gifts.
Oh, cool. Is there a jingle for the segment?
There is. You want to hear it?
Yeah, of course I want to hear it.
Here we go. Inexpensive holiday gifts. Inexpensive holiday gifts. Inexpensive holiday gifts. You can buy them because they're inexpensive.
Wow. That was really good, actually.
Thank you very much.
I didn't think it was going to be that good.
All right, here's the segment. Matt, what is an inexpensive holiday gift? What is a good inexpensive holiday gift, buddy?
Pack of gum.
Pack of gum. That is correct. That is an inexpensive holiday gift. Have you ever gotten somebody a pack of gum, Matt?
I bought an ex-girlfriend a pack of gum. Well, a whole bunch of packs of gum for Christmas.
And that's why she's an ex-girlfriend. Here's another fun inexpensive holiday gift is a pair of socks. You ever get a pair of socks for Christmas?
Socks and underwear like every year for Christmas.
Every time I get socks for Christmas, I throw them in the trash. Because that's a terrible gift. You know what is a great inexpensive holiday gift this year, and this is the first time I've ever seen one of these. It absolutely blew my mind. Anyone can afford this, and they can get it for someone that they love, and it will blow their mind in half. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about from Bliss Lights, the brand new Starport.
I'm in based on the name alone.
Right?
That sounds... Who doesn't want a Starport? I'll buy anything called a Starport.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe you're thinking, what's a Starport?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what it is. So Bliss Lights makes these laser light show lights where you like plug it in and then it lights up your whole house and turns your house into like basically what a theme park looks like.
They have ones for like inside and ones for outside. They got a thing that goes on a Christmas tree. They had all kinds of stuff. It's really cool.
Bliss Lights is responsible for designing the laser light shows for like every single theme park in the world.
Yeah.
These guys make it for the biggest of the biggest guys. And they also make them for your home, which is so cool. And
now they make the Starport, which is for the space station?
Well, no. So here's what a Starport is. It is literally a laser light show that plugs into your USB. So you can have it anywhere. You don't need to plug it in the wall. You plug it into a USB and it will literally throw all these laser lights all over your room. It's so cool.
You can plug it in like a computer or even if I have one of those like little portable power banks with USB on it, I can plug it in that.
You know what? I did it. I have a portable power bank and I used it, and it is so neat. It looks like what you would even. It's cooler than a lightsaber, and that's saying a lot from me. All right, and they come in red, green, and blue, and you can walk around with it and just throw a laser light show anywhere you want to throw one. You can have one in the bathroom, in your bedroom, out while you're taking your dog for a walk. Well, you can have one in the car when you're driving people around. I mean,
you probably shouldn't do it inside the car while you're driving. That's why
your
your driving record is what it is, Steve.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. You should absolutely go check it out. Use the code nighttime, and that'll get you a discount on there, which is really cool. It's a great promo. So use promo code nighttime for a discount, and check it all out right now at blisslights.com. We're talking about blisslights.com. It's blisslights.com, and look up that Starport.
Yeah.
So cool. All right, here we go. Let's get back to the show.
Okay, so we got to talk about something because you were on a TV show that I was a big fan of called Deal or No Deal, which I think everyone in America is aware of at this point. So you were on relatively recently.
So it's funny because a lot of my friends were, I didn't even know it was still on, but it actually was on 10 years ago, and that's when Meghan Markle was on there, and Chrissy Teigen was actually an alternate. She was what they call a banker bodyguard, which I don't know if you remember, they bring out the challenges or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was 10 years ago, and then it was gone for a long time.
It was in syndication for a while after that.
You know more than I do.
This guy
when it comes to game shows,
he knows too much.
Yeah. Is there such thing?
Yeah. You'll find out. Please continue.
So they brought it back, and then
it's back on CNBC, right?
Yes.
Okay.
And the idea was to be hopefully bought by NBC, I think, which I think the Christmas special was on NBC.
Mm-hmm.
I may be getting this wrong, but yeah. So they actually brought back, a few of my friends were on the original season, which is pretty cool. The veterans, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So we filmed that last summer in Orlando. So I was living in Orlando for a month and a half, and we filmed them, I guess, 3 seasons worth pretty much. And that's what you're seeing airing now.
Where was the stages for that?
It was at Universal, actually. So the way it works is interesting because the first time they filmed it was in Culver, at some stage there. And then I guess the way it works is that the company or
so it's Endemol,
whoever wants to host it pays, and they bid. So it was in between that and then Vegas, I think, one of the big casinos. Which you would think it'd be the other way around, but they get a ton of advertisements. They get commercials included.
Sure, of course.
Tons of audience members want to show up and watch that show, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, so back when it was on originally, is still Howie Mandel hosting?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm actually really good friends with his son.
Oh, he's great.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Howie's great.
When that show first came on 10 years ago, I'm such a nerd when it comes to both game shows and math that I actually made my own spreadsheets, and I'd watch the show and check off every box so I could predict what the banker was going to offer. And I had a whole thing about expected value of the case and when it was a good idea to take the offer and when you shouldn't.
Did it work out?
Well, I mean, I just
think
sat
it's
at
a
home
lot
and
of
watched.
luck.
I mean, that show was loved by people who love math and people who love psychology because it had simple decision making and it had statistics that you could watch and follow, and I'm a nerd and I like that stuff.
We know. I got to spend time on the set of that show
back in the day,
because Vic Cohen, who was Howie Mandel's head writer, invited me to the set when I was going off to do the Shrek thing in New York, the Broadway thing. So he invited me down to come spend a day with them on Deal or No Deal, and I was very excited, of course, because big fan of Howie Mandel, but also a big fan of the show. This is the original, all the models, of course.
Yeah.
Why would you want to hang out with them? Come on, they're the best. And I came down, and I was hanging out, and I brought I was allowed to bring a friend with me, so I brought our friend Nodder is his name, and I brought this buddy of ours with us, and we had both been doing stand-up for a very short amount of time at the time. I believe maybe 2. Maybe I was maybe.
You're about 3 years in at that point.
Yeah, I was about 3 years in. He was about a year in.
Yeah.
And my buddy, and so we were hanging out. We were having a good time.
He's a real estate agent, is what he was doing at the time.
Yes, he was a real estate agent. Yeah. And so we were hanging out, having a nice time. Thank you for setting this up because I forgot some of it. So we're hanging out, we're having a nice time, and then Howie Mandel said we could all go and have lunch with him. So on the break, we all went, just the 4 of us, to go sit and eat together. And we were chatting about stand-up and about things and this and that. And Howie Mandel goes, Steven, how long you been doing stand-up for? How he goes, Nodder, you guys are comedians? Yeah. How long you guys been doing stand-up for? And my friend Nodder goes, 4 years. And Howie Mandel goes, did you just lie to me? And he goes, no. And he goes, you're lying to me about how long you've done stand-up?
Also, didn't he say, what do you do for a living?
But he was totally kidding, wasn't he?
No.
Really?
He goes, I can tell that you're lying. You're lying.
Oh
how long have you really been doing stand-up? And he goes, No. I mean, I have been doing it
And did he say that he was making a living from doing stand-up?
Yeah, something like this. And so he was like, yeah, no, I am. I've been doing it a long time. And then Howie looks at me and he goes, how long you been doing stand-up? And I go, 2 years. Or 3 years. I go, 3 years. And he goes, see, not a liar. You're a liar. How long have you really been doing it? And he was like, all right, I've been doing it.
You should have had him get up and do a monologue or something.
It did not work. So then about 20 minutes later, this friend of ours, is trying to talk to Vic about how he's a realtor and he can help him sell his house and all this kind of stuff. And Howie goes, you're a realtor? And he goes, yeah. He goes, how long have you been doing that? 4 years? And then just got up and walked away. And my friend was like, I have to go home. I can't be here anymore.
Wow. I've never witnessed him getting actually angry.
It wasn't Howie being angry. It was just
he was just being.
This guy was being
just fucking with him.
This guy was just being a moron. Which
he's like, who do you think you are?
Yeah,
we hang out with comedians all the time because that's what we do. So we see many instances of comedians acting like morons. Like we can't. It
would
help
have been
ourselves.
different if he did it in a joking way, you know.
Yeah, it was. I mean, he went after him pretty hard. It was very funny though. But the thing that I loved about Deal or No Deal, because I got to spend the rest of the day on the set and watch a few tapings, is sitting in Video Village while they're taping that show and watching people gamble on hundreds, thousands of dollars, where people are like, this woman had like, it was at like $50,400 or something like this, and she was like, no deal, and everyone in Video Village was like, oh no, you're gonna, and then she lost all of it, and you had to watch her like walk out by herself. That can be a brutal show.
He mentioned the psychology behind it, and it's crazy because there's theories about how when you get up there and you see all the numbers up there and there's such larger numbers than what you're offered, people forget, that's a ton of money. And I didn't realize until towards the end of the show that's like taxes, are already taken out. Like you walk away with that much money. Wow. And people get up there and they just lose sight of, that's more than they're going to make in a year. And they turn it down because they get greedy, and it's crazy. I've seen, oh my gosh, there were some episodes, I don't know if you watched them all this season, that were just heartbreaking. People would have, way more than that, 500,000 or something, and they still have the million up there. So they get like, crazy and they turn it down, and then they walk away with a penny. Oh, and they have these really heartfelt stories about their families. Yeah. And standing there, you really witness it, and it was emotional. A lot of the girls would cry every episode.
Now, were you always the same briefcase number?
Yes.
Okay, so what number were you?
15.
So you're number 15.
Hey.
Okay, briefcase 15 in the studio with us. Did you ever have the $1 million in your case?
I don't know. I got pretty lucky. I always had pretty low numbers, which is nice because I had certain friends that would time after time again have
the high number, and then they have to do like the sad model face when they open it. They're like, "Oh, I'm sorry."
Sad
like,
model.
It's always like they open the case.
We are sad.
they open the case and they're like, "I'm sorry." It's like it's not your fault. You're just holding the case.
People get mad at the girl, and it has nothing to do with us. They actually are really strict. They have this whole organization that will have someone present to make sure that the cases. Their biggest rule for us was you can't look. Do not let your case open, because sometimes they'll accidentally open or something. And then, we're standing up there in heels you'd always want to get picked, because then you get to go sit in the back. You're in heels and they layer you up in spandex no matter what you look like.
Really?
Oh yeah. So and you're standing there fake smiling or maybe real smiling for hours. So then as soon as your number gets called, you get to go down, but it could be, a 6-hour show.
It's exhausting.
And if one of the cases opens, because they cut down the episodes a lot. So we would film we get on set at 5 a.m. every day, sometimes earlier for hair and makeup. And we'd film 3 episodes and end up leaving set around 10 p.m. So if one of the cases open, we have to start over.
You reset.
And there was one time it didn't, it was like that girl that, scored on the own basket kind of thing. Like,
Oh my God. Wow.
Yeah, that's got to be annoying, because then like the contestant is probably annoyed.
It's crazy because they could be doing really well. Yeah, because
I mean, it all dates back. If you ever see Quiz Show?
Oh yeah,
which way before your time. But there was a movie about how in the 1960s there was a big quiz show scandal in the U.S. and they were cheating on the $64,000 question.
Yeah,
the Charles Van Doren story. But Robert Redford made a good movie about it with Rob Morrow, former guest.
Sure.
You should watch it. Yeah. And that's why they have all these laws, because there's actually federal laws that regulate game shows now.
Do you know if Celebrity Big Brother is a game show?
Technically, I don't think that's classified as a game show, because they don't win prize money for it. They get paid the longer they stay on, but it's not like they're not in a contest in the same way that game shows are.
Okay.
It's sort of like Survivor is different, and American Idol is different.
Yeah, because when we had James Maslow, who was on Big Time Rush with me back in the day.
Yeah, my friend just opened a gym, and I think he does something with it. I don't know if he works there or what.
By the way, did you see what he posted this picture? And I love James Maslow, but
you were on that show with him, right?
Yes, I was his manager.
I was like, how do you know him so well?
He posted this picture. Okay.
Okay. For people listening, he's wearing a plaid.
Was it for something?
Jacket and a plaid
just Happy
hat.
Monday.
Yeah, Happy Monday picture.
Maybe he's trying to get a reaction, because like any publicity is good publicity.
Yeah, just so that we're on the same page, audience. It's a yellow plaid shirt or jacket with a yellow plaid hat.
You're calling him out.
And I commented and said, mine has 209 likes. My comment. And it is best share from Clueless cosplay ever. And then the first comment is Gustavo? Like people just like weirded out.
Yeah.
But yeah, like he's a handsome fella. Are you dating? Or what are you when it comes to the interest of dating in this weird fucked up town we live in?
Yeah.
What do you prefer? What do you
can tell by that
in?
that it's not going well.
It's not that it's not going well. I just, it's kind of like, so with modeling, you have to do test shoots to build up your portfolio. And it's, you're shooting for maybe the length of a real shoot for 6 hours, but you're not getting paid. So I'll bulk them up for 1 week and do 5 test shoots and just build up my portfolio. And then I'm good for a couple months. And I'm kind of the same way with dating. I'll do back-to-back nights and do a bunch of dates. And then I'm like, okay, I'm done with LA dating for a while.
Yeah.
I tend to like to meet people now. I'm finding that through mutual friends is better, but then at the same time, if they set you up and then you don't want to go out with the person, it's like, I owe it to them. But I don't know. I was on for a while on this app called Raya.
Sure. We know the Raya.
I don't know. I got back on it at one point.
Please tell us you didn't go with Jeremy Piven like everyone else that went on.
No.
Okay.
Please. Okay. Thank you.
I think I got a few messages, but I didn't go out.
Since you brought it up. Everyone we know that's on it went out with Jeremy Piven, right?
Yep.
Really?
Every girl we know.
Every girl we know on there.
There's actually a couple guys that I find out, I met this guy. And they're like, oh, yeah, he messaged me too. So it's kind of
Moby is
Moby's another one.
I don't think I know who that is. Is that an athlete? There's a lot of athletes on there.
Moby was a big star
for the best.
like 10 years ago.
Yeah. But I don't know. I got back on there after a while ago just to check it out and see if they had refreshed the people on there, but I paid the $8. I'm like, I could have got a Chipotle bowl. There's no one good on here.
No, there are 2 good people we know that are on there. Nolan Gould, great guy. Nolan Gould, star of Modern Family. Terrific guy. Mensa member. Graduated high school at the age of 16. He plays Luke Dunphy. He plays a dummy on the show.
Wait. But you know how old I am?
How old are you?
He's like 21, 22.
Wait, Luke, the kid. I thought you meant the dad.
No.
Oh, okay.
Not Phil Dunphy. No,
Phil's funny though.
No, he's very funny. Yeah, but Nolan Gould, great guy. I know he was on there. We talked about it on the show once.
Here, I'm going to pull up a picture.
Yeah, but the LA dating scene, I'm kind of convinced that I'll be more likely to find someone in Texas or on the East. I think I'm very East Coast minded. I think the way I operate, I have trouble in LA, even meeting good down to earth girlfriends.
You grew up in
DC
right?
originally until I was 12, and then I moved to Texas, did middle school, high school, college in Texas.
That you were in the 4-H club?
In Texas, I was. Yeah. I wonder where you read that. Yeah.
So did you like raise cattle and all that, or what did you do?
No, so there's different. You can either race or do like horse shows where you do barrel racing or jumping, or you can raise livestock, whether it's pigs, horses. But the thing that I did is, I don't know if worse is the right word, but I mean, definitely dorkier than all of this combined. I went to these things called quiz bowls.
Okay.
So if you think about that scene from Napoleon Dynamite where he's tasting the milk and goes, the defect in that one is bleach. It's kind of like that. We sit with a panel. We go to these tiny Texas towns where these kids have huge belt buckles and like live for this kind of thing. And they ask you, we study as a team these questions for months on end. So it'll be like, what is the condition where the horse's hooves turn up? And you buzz in, you say founder. So you sit with your team, and then there's 2 teams. You're playing against this other team, and they ask you questions. So it's called a quiz bowl.
Yeah.
And you answer questions about horses pretty much. So that's what I did.
So you're like a horse expert.
I was. I'm a little rusty, but then I went to volunteer with horses the other day, and they were describing something about one of the muscles, and I go, oh yeah,
it's like
I know what they're talking about.
I did active decathlon in high school, and I was like a huge nerd. I was the 3rd highest score in all of LA County.
Wow. I was in chess club too at one point, but I just wanted the 6-pack of Oreos.
Do you ever have like like I have flashbacks from 20 years ago of things that I learned, and it was like I saw something on TV about Diane Fossey.
Yeah,
it's
usually
and I was like,
meaningless,
this happened, and I was like, yeah, I have a brain full of facts that have done me no good whatsoever in my entire life. Yeah,
I know.
Do you spend any time with horses out here? Have you gotten to hang out with any horses?
I want to more, but it's tough. I mean, unless you go, I want to do a trail ride soon, so hey, if anyone on Rye wants to go on a trail ride, that would be a
yes.
Well, you know, who used to do it was the Manson family used to host mini trail rides.
Oh, really?
For God's sakes, Matt.
But yeah, I've volunteered with some recently, but it's a little, I live in Brentwood, so
not a lot of horses.
Yeah,
in
you do.
Yeah.
Brentwood is beautiful.
I love Brentwood. On San Vicente, all those coffee shops and cafes. It's so idyllic.
Hello, my name's Dennis Heine, and I'm here to talk to you about something that everyone struggles with, getting a good night's sleep. Are you one of the millions of people that wrestle your pillow into the right position every night?
My head isn't rectangular, so why should my pillow be?
Exactly, which is why we've taken the next obvious step in pillow evolution.
Ooh, I'm listening.
It's the buttress pillow, the pillow shaped like a butt.
Hang on, is this a real product?
You bet your sweet butt it is. The ergonomic design gently cradles your head and supports the neck.
Hey, what are we talking about? Buttress pillows? Now that is something I can get into.
I gave one to my grandson and I haven't seen him in weeks. Thanks, buttress pillow.
Finally.
So what are you waiting for? Go to thebuttress.pillow.com right now. It's your butt for the squeezing. Come get that butt.
The buttress pillow that's a bud.
Hey, Matt, let me ask you something. This time of year, it's starting to get a little cold. It's heading into the winter months. How do you feel about the winter months?
I'm not a fan. I'm cold. I'm cold in July, let
Really?
alone in October.
You know, then I've got something that you're going to absolutely love. Yo Shirt, the company that has brought you these like really, really cool shirts and socks and all sorts of
Yeah,
stuff.
they've got that app. You can upload your own images and get stuff
your
printed.
image and get it printed right there, and you can do one-offs. They're so cool. They make so much cool stuff. But they invested in this technology that has created Sherpa blankets that are just extra plush. They're absolutely gorgeous, and they feel so nice to the touch. You have one. I got one for you.
Yeah.
Of
It's
your
really
face.
soft.
It's your face.
It is my face. I'm not a blanket on my bed, which is weird, but it's very soft.
You know what? Just as a quick side note, at LA Comic-Con, we had a couple of these made, one for each of us with our artwork of our faces on it. And I gave one to Mike Black, who has been on our show. He's our announcer on the show. And Mike Black was so tired at LA Comic-Con after working so hard for 3 straight days on this thing. We found him fast asleep in a chair with his blanket of his face wrapped around him. And I have never seen a cuter 40-year-old man in my life. Go to Yo Shirt on your phone. Go to the Google Play Store. Get it there. Go to it on the iPhone. You can get it there, or on an iPad. Upload it. Just
Android
play
as well?
with it. Android, everywhere. It's available everywhere. And just go and experiment and play with this thing. But I'm telling you right now, these Sherpa blankets are absolutely incredible. You should get one. They're gorgeous. They're going to keep you warm, Matt. They're going to keep you warm.
What if they want one of your face?
If you want one of my face, you can grab the artwork from my Instagram and drop it right onto it. And I'll tell you what, you'll end up with get to sleep with my big old giant hairy face. So that's what you want out of your life. I mean, congratulations to you. You know, you're making good choices. That's all I can say. So go to YoShirt.com. Check it out. YoShirt on all the app stores. YoShirt.com. Do you find it? I know there's a lot. I see a lot of pictures of you with other ladies that like other. It looks like
Like a lot of
looks like
model
you're spending a
friends.
lot of time with other female models or other friends that are women.
Yeah, I was getting.
Do you feel like that's an important part of your life, is having
Totally. I
strong
think
women and
that-
good women around you?
You know, everything in life, I think it's who you surround yourself with, because I have a tendency, you know, at least when I was younger, I would surround myself with people that I kind of wanted to help, whether that was in a relationship or friends that I wanted to bring them up. But at the same time that, you know, you start to emulate whoever you surround. So one of the biggest things that I'm focusing on, you know, lately is just surrounding myself with really positive, good people that support me. And, you know, because LA is a really brutal place to live, is just on mental health, I think. So, you know, I kind of have girls in the industry that I'm close with, and, you know, I can come to for help with work problems, or they just understand, you know, what I go through on a day-to-day basis. But I would say that they're more of my, you know, work friends, which some of them cross over, but then I have, you know, a handful of maybe 5 really closest true friends that I use the term like to describe whether or not someone's a true friend is, would they pick me up at LAX if I needed it? Like if my phone was dead, they knew where I was, I couldn't order an Uber, would they come get me in rush hour traffic? Like that kind of friend.
Yeah.
And I have a handful of those, but I know a lot of people, I know I have friends that struggle with it with friends here because, you know, their work friends, their model friends, or their real friends. And it's, at the end of the day, they feel alone, and it's tough. And they, network with each other and build each other up on social media, but it doesn't always serve the same purpose as when you really need something.
Yeah.
And I think in general, LA, the one thing over the East Coast, I kind of mentioned it, I think I'm more East Coast minded, because there I feel like people tend to be super honest, and you know what you're getting, and people perceive it as rude sometimes, but they don't beat around the bush. I met a few girls there, and it was, I'm going to be at this restaurant tonight. If you want to stop by, I'm not sure where you live, but no pressure, I'll be here. They show up, no questions asked. And here it tends to be, literally, they'll say to me, I'm weighing my best options, and I'll let you know if something else comes up. Like,
wow.
Yeah. And then, it's been a struggle for me. And I'm just now after, I lived in the South Bay, which is not even LA. It was like, all these little kids and families, and I never went out or anything. It was actually a little bit in Manhattan, a little bit in Hermosa. Okay. So I've only really been in like LA for about a year and a half, but still I'm just now kind of finding my groove and,
So not to go back to this, but I will say this before we continue. But when I got the kids TV show, the Nickelodeon show, when I got that show, I went from having like a larger pool of people that were like friendly people to having a tighter knit group of people. And then over that time period, after that show ended, it went even tighter and tighter. And now I have.
He's stuck with me.
I got, yeah. Well, I have about like 4, 5 very, very close people in my life, and everybody else is kind of like not on the outside, but the walls have gotten built up around who I'm down with.
I think
like,
as success happens in this business, then the groups that you have that are really close friends get smaller and smaller.
Do you think
because
it's
you find
much
out who they are?
A business thing and success versus, I think it's an age thing. But I have always considered myself more of an old soul. Like even as a kid, I was always asking a million questions, and I've, sometimes I want to just be able to have those types of friends, and I'll be, at a club once in a while on a Saturday night, and I look around and none of these people really know me. None of these people care about me. Yeah. If something were to happen, I can't really feel like they're going to take care of me. And I just ghost because I get this kind of paranoia feeling about being alone. And, that happens to me all the time in LA. And I think I feel a little young for that. I wish I could just blindly go on trips to Mykonos and Ibiza with people I don't know and make the most out of it. But
you're also like, you have to take care of yourself, and you have to keep yourself, safe and
totally.
And as a woman, especially in this town and in this fucking bizarre business, like you got to be careful.
Oh, I get some of the craziest.
You must run into. I mean, I imagine your Instagram DMs are probably. I've
thought about doing a little something with that.
We should. I don't want to out. We should write people back for you.
Yes.
We should do that as like an exercise in comedy. Because,
okay. Yeah, that actually be really fun. I don't think has anyone done anything like that. It goes down in the DMs. We can call it that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, the thing is,
like that's copyright.
There's a weird thing that happens is like because our friend Kate Quigley, famous comedian. We've done tons of shows with her, but she's a beautiful woman who's a comedian. So her DMs are just a nightmare, right? It's just like nothing but dick pictures. God knows what is going
I
on,
don't get
right?
that many of those, actually. I'm surprised.
What do you deal with on that side of
well, just, the random, it's a lot of foreign people. So just a lot of weird messages that make no sense, or just, like, I don't know. I would honestly have to look because it's just so across the board, this weird stuff. But the main thing that I get that actually is really troublesome is, as I mentioned, I've been trying to branch out a little bit and not leave modeling. That's going to be one of my avenues of, a profession and ways I make money and passions. But, I'm looking around to say, do I want to get involved in this app or this business or, just different opportunities out there? Because I noticed when one door closed, now I have all these people reaching out to me of different things going on that they want me involved with. But I've been finding it extremely frustrating because I can't tell you how many, I think you would be a really great fit for this project I'm working on. Let's meet for lunch. So I have an open mind and, I tend to think, is it just me, not trusting men? And, but they prove me wrong time and time again. Yeah. I go to these meetings, I'll prepare for days, do research, and I show up and literally for the first, hour and a half, they just start getting to know me. And then maybe the last 20 minutes, they'll like, oh yeah, so this project, like I'll try to circle it back and start to ask questions about it. Well, why am I here? Kind of thing. How do you see me being involved? And it was all a ploy.
Yeah.
Right. And it's so frustrating to me. Part of my brain is that all people see me good for is being a model and being behind a camera?
That sucks.
I have a voice, so it's in a brain.
That's got to be frustrating.
That's one of the other struggles, I think. I don't know I'm sure girls experience it. I have a lot of friends, though, that move out here and they leave school. I mean, girls are starting modeling now at 16. So they put all their eggs in one basket. When that doesn't work out, it's a little scary because even I'm feeling that way when, you have an education. And even then, I still feel anxious at times when I'm, the jobs aren't coming in like I expected. And it comes in waves, a couple months you'll be doing great and feel like you're on the top of the world. You have all this money saved. And then the next month you don't work at all. So
that's the hard part about the entertainment business. Like the income is very sporadic.
Totally.
And it's like, it's a thing where like when the money comes in, you still have to spend like you have nothing. Mm-hmm. And that way you can make it through. But
it's also all the way you look at things. I think I'm starting to look at it because I'm a little bit in one of those phases now. And it's, had I not been in this phase, I wouldn't be open to receiving new opportunities and doing things like this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I may have had a job today, for example, and just being able to expand my interests and, just different ways to be involved.
Totally.
Yeah.
And look, what something that I can tell you from talking to other models in the business and other actors, people that are talented and cool to be around is anything else that you do in this business will feed into the other things you're doing in this business. So, if you like are like, I want to do some acting, let's find something fun. I want to find a role in the next Transformers movie. You know what I mean? Like, I want to go and do something like that. Someone will pick you up and drop you into one of those things. And because you're putting it out in the world, that's what you want to be doing. And like, I don't know agency wise, like what you're at, if you're with, if you have any other type of agent besides you have the modeling agency that you work with or other places, but like just putting it out there that you're looking for, for that type of work, people will respond to that, and that you will find the right people.
Yeah, it's like attracting what you want.
Absolutely, someone.
And
will,
it does take a lot of trial and error because everyone I know has been with multiple different agencies. So it's you may be with one and they tell you what you want to hear and invest in you. You know, not as much, a little bit of money, but their time, which is money, the most valuable thing we have. And then it doesn't work out 6 months down the road. You're like, well, I don't feel like you guys really invested in me, that you just put me on the board hoping that it would just happen. And I needed you to really build me and, for some girls, teach me how to pose, present me test shoots that are going to build up my portfolio the right way and make me more appealing to clients. And they just expect it to work out. And it's, nothing to them if you don't make any money. They have a million girls that are, a couple of the it girls that have millions of followers and, they're working. So it doesn't matter that Maddie's not doing all, you know what I mean?
Sure.
So it's a lot of just patience. And I was actually reading a quote from Reese Witherspoon the other day that was about, an opportunity not working out or a door closing is, a good thing because it's leading to, something greater. And I think that, I've definitely learned that through this is that you may not see it in the moment, but everything's changing and you're going through these struggles to come out on the other side.
You're going to go out on, like 20 go-sees in a week or whatever and get
and then you get one, or you see later on, there's a reason why I didn't book that,
Yeah, and sometimes we've talked about this, is that sometimes certain things in your life have to be taken away so that there's room there for the big stuff, and that happens constantly, it's just
that's life. You have to, if you're not changing, you're not growing.
Exactly. If you're not changing, you're not growing. I love that.
Now you're involved in the fashion business, obviously, so you have an eye for fashion. You know what looks good.
Okay.
What is it that these two fashion disasters you're sitting at a table with should be doing differently?
First of all, I am not a fashion disaster.
Steven, you just posted.
Speak for yourself.
You just posted when you were named worst dressed.
By
that
was
OK
a
Magazine.
long time ago. Yes, I was named.
We're not on camera right now, so I think you're good.
Okay, thank you.
People know if they listen to the show, they know what we look like. They know that
worst dressed.
Anything
it was
goes in
8
LA,
years
that's a good
ago.
thing.
8 years ago, I was on the worst dressed list.
You could have been in there many more times.
Nicole Richie was on that list with me.
Yes.
Do they just pick one outfit where you looked bad and just
you
use it as an example? Yeah, I'd love to.
It was well deserved, by the way.
MIA Prince was on that list.
Oh, yeah. Oh, well, where was that?
That was OK
He's
Magazine.
wearing a onesie.
I'm wearing a onesie.
That's
it was yes, I was wearing a green onesie. They said I looked like Miss Piggy ate Kermit the Frog.
That wasn't serious though.
No, it was for the Jackass premiere.
Okay.
So come on.
It was
come on.
The media twists everything.
They do. They really do. But yeah, when it comes to fashion and things like this, you're wearing a very cute sweater that you're wearing.
Thank you.
It is a salmon colored sweater. I would say pinkish.
Yeah.
Orange scarlet.
Yeah, it's Wild Fox.
Yeah, Wild Fox. This is a nice sweater.
Thank you.
And it's got some tear.
It got eaten by moths a little bit, or I think that was the look they're going for.
That is the look.
They came that way.
There's some glittery stars on it. Very cute. This is a very cute sweater.
It's a little hot.
Good luck.
Though, over here today. It's hotter over here than Brentwood, so.
Yeah. Matt Walker, by the way, fashion plate. He's currently wearing a sequin jumpsuit. It's
with
a
flannel.
With a flannel. Yeah, he's wearing a white T-shirt with a flannel. And I'm wearing a T-shirt with my face on it.
With your face on it.
That's another perk
Sold
of
at
here.
Hot Topic.
You can wear anything goes. You know, you go to Nobu Malibu and everyone's wearing cargo shorts and T-shirts and flip-flops.
I thought cargo shorts were out. I thought that was like a thing that you're not supposed to wear anymore.
You know, anything goes,
matter.
I guess.
Hey, yeah. Whatever Matthew McConaughey wants to wear, he can wear that. Look, it is
UT grad.
It's so rad to have you on here and to be able to chat with you about
you too. This is so fun.
This was really cool. And
because we've only ever had one model on.
Oh,
well, we had
really?
Rachel on, but we had Janice Dickinson on, who's got a very interesting life story to talk about. But it's interesting to hear about somebody who's actually doing it now.
I know. You just got kind of the details. You didn't even get too much about my life story.
She told the Cosby story when she was on
wow.
show, which was brutal.
Yeah, I have a lot of life stories, but it was cool to be able to share some of the insights that not everyone, you just assume that everyone knows this kind of stuff living in LA.
Now we know about Beauty Pass. We had no idea.
Yeah,
no idea.
Try to get on there.
If there's one story from your childhood that you want to tell before we wrap up, what's one story that
I'll do a funny story.
Anything.
Like I said, I think you can tell a lot about someone as they're a kid. So there was one time that I think I was 3. I wouldn't get into the car, and my mom goes, "Okay, we're gonna drive around the block." So I'm standing on my front stoop. They drive around the block expecting any kid to be, bawling and besides themselves hysterical, like thinking they were left. And I'm still just standing on the front step, arms crossed with a scowl on my face. My mom thought to herself, I am in so much trouble. And she was right.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Some things never change.
That's so great. I love that. That's wonderful. I love it. Any other big
projects coming up?
Things coming up in your life? Anything that's that we should keep an eye out for?
Not as far as TV shows or jobs or anything. I'm deciding if I'm going to go try out London for a little bit, but I'm here for now. I always think it's good to mix it up. One of my best friends moved to Madrid. She had a great job here, working 9 to 5, and she was complacent. She shipped off to Madrid, and she's never coming back. So I'm a little bit inspired by that. I have a travel bug, but we'll see when the right timing would be.
Is there when you're getting hit up by brands and that, is it coming? Are they coming to you mostly through the app, or are they coming through agents?
Mostly through Instagram, because I'm actually in between agencies right now. I have an agent in New York, but I'm shopping around for LA agencies right now. So I have an agent. It's on my Instagram bio, David, but he's not present in LA. So you can contact me through my Instagram, just DM, but sometimes those get lost with different requests. So I think my email's on there too. I wonder because my email isn't typed out in my bio, but I get all these weird emails all the time. So there must be some button that I don't know about.
Yeah, there somewhere.
Yeah, there might be.
There has to be just an email button.
Yeah,
I think so. But
maybe I should add that in the meantime.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thanks again for
you
coming to chat with us. Oh yes, if you click there is an email button, and it does go directly to
there you go.
to
Well, then
something.
I'm surprised I don't get more. It's few and far between. It's more in the DMs that I get the weird stuff.
We're going to have to write to some of those people for you.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Cheap entertainment.
Where can people find you on social media? And
Instagram. I'd actually just got on TikTok. That's one of the big things I've been trying out lately.
Really?
That's the new one. Right?
Yeah. So I didn't want to do it, but some people I look up to have been pushing me, and I'm like, fine, I'll try it, because it's a lot of, you know what it is. It's like
lip syncing,
a Vine, and it's. I feel like I have to dumb myself down for it, because what does well is not really creative videos that we put a lot of work into. Because I know YouTubers that create amazing content, but then they're struggling on TikTok because you really just have to look at what's popular, a little dance move or lip syncing or something, and you just mimic it, and it does super well.
It's
like my
very
first video,
meme heavy.
Yeah, I posted my first video. I had no followers. It got 250,000 views in like less than.
Wow.
So, yeah, there's definitely room on there to. I think it's going to be the next big thing that brands. I know the NFL has just started doing a big deal on there. So,
wow.
it's the time to get on it and start. Build up
Guess
a following.
I gotta sign up for TikTok
before it gets
now.
monetized. So TikTok. That was one of my goals for this week, is to look back into Twitter. I was big on there, and in high school I loved Twitter, but I haven't been on there in forever.
What's your following on Twitter?
I have no idea.
I mean,
It's some weird
You don't
username
need to
too.
go back
It's
to
like
Twitter. Twitter's a waste.
madder than a hatter, Mads is mad, or something stupid.
Oh my God.
Like my AIM name.
I love it.
Twitter's a waste of time now.
Matt, where can people follow you?
Find links to everything at funnymatt.com, or if you're upset by anything I have to say, let me know at mattwalkersucks.com.
Which is true.
Is that a real thing?
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
People
I like
really
that.
do write horrible things to him.
Yeah, I take all my hate mail
Let
and
them
put it
get
over
all
there.
their anger out.
Absolutely.
I don't care.
You can always get me at Stephen Glickman, STEPHEN, Glickman on Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe to the Nighttime Show podcast and share it with your friends and all those wonderful, wonderful things. We'll be at LA Comic Con. We have a 30-foot booth at LA Comic Con, the Nighttime Show booth, which will be giving away all sorts of cool
If you want to come
stuff.
by and
I would love
check out
to.
the Comic-Con.
Come hang out with us for a
Will
bit.
this be ready
Sure.
by then? That'd be cool.
Oh yeah.
Okay, perfect.
For sure. Thanks again for stopping by, Maddie. You're the fucking coolest.
Yes.
Thank you.
This was awesome. All right.
Now I can pronounce your last name, Stephen.
Teeuws.
No, that was the one goal.
Teeuws.
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 Tevis.
Teeuws.
At Madi Teeuws.
Stand